Good evening and welcome to the April 20th meeting of the Board of Selectmen. If everybody would rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening and welcome. We have no public hearing this evening. Any announcements? From the board? Nothing? Okay. Additions or deletions to the agenda? Or we?
One very minor one, Mr. Chairman. I guess you could add, if you want, to 9A, and that is to set a public hearing date for the budget, which could be May 4th. That is a separate item, or add it under item 9A.
There is to add to 9A?
We need to set a public hearing date for the budget. However, Selectmen want to do.
All right. If someone would want to make a motion to add to item 9A and set a public hearing to review the budget.
I'll make that motion. So
Okay, all those in favor? Opposed?
0.
Add that to 9A.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back. We don't have appointments tonight, but we do have our new code enforcement officer with us, and would like to introduce him to the municipality.
He is our appointment. Mike Gilpatrick is the code officer here now as of last Monday.
correct.
First week.
Sure, step right up there.
I've been working in Limerick for some time, and now he's with us, and I'm thankful he's here.
He's also been a deputy working here for some time,
2 years?
couple of years.
Is it okay if I take my mask off so
Absolutely.
people at home can see my beard? That's usually the telltale. Good evening for those of you that do not know me. I'm Mike Gilpatrick. I've worked as an alternate, as you stated, Mr. Chairman, for 2 years in the community. However, I've lived in the neighboring town of Limerick the majority of my life. So with that being said, I'm very, very familiar with the area and the topography. I've been a code officer for 5 years, and I thank you and appreciate the opportunity to work in your beautiful town. I'm honored by the board and the administration to play a pivotal part in the safety and growth of your thriving community. And I don't know if anybody has any questions for me or anything at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions from the board?
Welcome.
Welcome. And we look forward to having a long tenured relationship.
As do I. with that in mind, I would like to just mention to the board, in Limerick I had instituted a software company, or introduced them rather to the town that gave us the ability for an online portal. I understand that you folks are now entering the end of this year's budget, but I just wanted to put that out there for some food for thought. And just in my main or notion, I've already started haggling with the software company, as I've been involved with several different implementations. So hopefully we'll get a good estimate back and moving forward, and it's something that hopefully this time next year it's something that I can bring forward to the town, and we'll take a look at it and see if that's a direction you'd like to move in.
Okay.
Did you use that in Limerick? I did use it. And it was helpful to you? Yeah, it worked great. The contractors really like it because they have the ability to apply online at any time of day or night.
Good.
Yeah. So that's a huge advantage. And then once again, all the applications are right at the touch of your email, so
Perfect.
It works very good. Thank you.
What's the name of the software?
It's called iWorks, is the name of it, IWORQ. For anybody that would like to search at home and kind of take a look at it. It's pretty basic, but it works very well. Thank you, Mike.
And what's the license cost, Mike, just out of the,
Roughly, it's somewhere, implementation costs are somewhere between $7,000 and $8,000 to get to startup, and then the annual fees they're fluctuating. I believe last year the town of Limerick paid somewhere in the neighborhood between $35,000 and $4,000 for an annual fee, which that basically you can call it any time of day, and the tech service is always available to you, and it's a pretty good product. I've had a lot of success with it.
good.
Thank you.
Good enough?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks and welcome. Any comments from the public tonight? That's fine. Correspondence, we've had the treasurer's reports from, I believe, this week. Motor vehicle report for the last month. Move on to reports and staff initiatives, selectmen's reports. Anything, Dana? I have nothing. David?
The only thing I want to reiterate again is the 911 numbering of people's houses. If we can just keep that ball going, that's important.
I
have nothing.
Nothing? Okay. And I am all set as well, so I'll turn it over to Gary for his.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As many people know, 602 people, particularly the COVID clinic that was going to be this afternoon at the middle school was canceled per CDC priorities with vaccine. Most of the cancellations were done long before the end of last week, so that was unfortunate, but I guess had to happen considering vaccine distribution. The Fogale land swap update, I talked to the town attorney today. He has not heard from Doug's attorney in terms of closing documents, but we've done everything that we've been asked to do so far, so it's a matter of waiting for those papers to be circulated. Moving on to the election, we have one selectman vacancy, one RSU 51 vacancy, one water district vacancy. Papers have been taken out by 3 people for selectmen, returned by 2, and 1 school board member has returned their papers as well. Remember, voting starts May 10th, Monday, May 10th. Absentee voting, sorry. In terms of hiring updates, Pete, Josh, and I interviewed a candidate today for the 2nd transfer station position, combination driver for transfer station and public works employee. I started checking references this afternoon. And we also have an interview on Friday for the deputy town clerk's position. We had 4 applications there. We're interviewing just 1 person who had a bit more elections experience than the other 3. So that's the only one we're going to interview for the moment and see how Nancy and Christine feel about that. In addition, for June 8th election, absentee voting beginning on the 10th. The ballot applications are out now. You can apply for that absentee ballot. Christine has the applications. And also we're planning on closing the front lobby on that Tuesday, June 8th. The rest of town hall will be open. We don't think we need to close the codes in the assessor and Laura's office that day. If there is a line, it will come through this room right here, but usually in those spring elections, the numbers are down, plus there'll probably be a lot of absentee ballots before them. The public should know that on Monday, April 26th, Goldbeal Park, the entire boat launch and parking lot down there is going to be closed. We're going to have some tree removal down there. There's going to be crew in there. It'll probably be a long day. We hope they can get it all done. There's probably, what, 25 trees coming down?
On the high side and 13 on the low side. I won't get to all those today, that day.
Yep. So they may have to come back for another
State
time.
gonna pay for them high side?
Yep. They're all dead trees, we're
Yeah.
not cleaning the whole thing, it's just the dead trees.
Yeah, but that's in the state right away,
Yeah.
so it's,
Well, it's our advantage for safety, yeah.
yeah.
We remember the double door safe that came out of next door through the wall, and unfortunately there was a little bit of a mishap, and when that was moved, it was dropped. And it jammed the door, and the jaws of life were used to open it up, and consequently, it was no good. It was not in, I've got some pictures if you want to see them, but it's nothing that you could repair. So that was sold for scrap metal, so we will not be going out to bid for that. The laptops for the Board of Selectmen have been ordered, and I'm thinking Dave Lowe in another, what, 2 or 3 weeks might happen?
Yeah, it should be. Yep.
Okay. I spent probably a good hour with Devin Chamberlain, the newest planning board member, who's gonna need some help getting up to speed. Lee J's gonna spend some time with him as well, to get him going in terms of being a reasonably well acclimated planning board member. And Bill King is asked to be here at your next meeting, May 4th, at your request to just update the board on police services and our 2 contract deputies. And I have a question for the board, and you can let me know, do you want to do a candidates night? I thought that May 6th, a Thursday, would be the day that we could do it. If we have 2 and possibly 3 candidates for selectmen, especially during COVID times, it might not be a bad idea to have a candidates night. So that's it from me, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, questions, comments?
I personally am in favor of doing a candidates night for sure.
I would think that you'd set something up, at least start the planning of it, and, if it goes south, that we can't put it together, then it goes south, but,
It'll be by Zoom, but
yeah.
so what, the rest of the world's operating that way.
Okay, anything else, Gary?
No, thank you.
All right, under new business, discuss possible vote on municipal warrant. Instead of public hearing for the budget review, public hearing, or set a date for the public hearing meeting. You have in your hot little hands here the warrant. The dollar values are what was voted on by this board several weeks ago. Those have all been plugged into this warrant. I think the addition is Article 3 is for the lease purchase agreement and the overall financing to purchase the new loader backhoe, and those details are below. Financial statement is also included. Article 4 is new this year to see if the town will vote to authorize the IT department with fiscal approval from the town administrator to appropriate up to $25,000 of franchise fees to enter a joint partnership with the cable TV company, which is currently Spectrum or Charter, owned by Spectrum. It's owned by Charter, and/or with this in conjunction with the state or federal grants for the purpose of expanding broadband internet to unserved areas of the town of Waterboro. And there's an explanatory note there. Again, that would come out of the franchise fees, and if there's no project, then we wouldn't spend them. But if there's an opportunity to partner with Connect Maine as well as Spectrum, it might make sense for us to go do that. Other than that, Article 5, which handles the general government, Article 6, which handles the tax assessor, CEO, planning board, planning and zoning appeals. Article 7 handles the library. Article 8 will handle trash disposal, the transfer station and public works. Article 9 is for any equipment for the fire department and Department of Public Works, which is ultimately, I guess, capital plan. Article 10 is the CIP for the buildings, and again, that's the recommendations that came through for the Old Town Hall, and the capital improvement plan is listed below. The request was for 69.2, we recommended 35. And that's the amount that's in the article. 11 is capital improvement plan for upgrading of roads. Article 12 is for the fire department and all of the associated stuff with that, including Ross Connor, and it also includes the contract deputies. 13 is Old Home Days and the agency. 14 is again the standard language to see if the town will vote to allow state revenues from registration fees derived from the registration of snowmobiles to be put in fire roads. That's an annual article. 15 is for the tax collector to charge a set interest rate, and that is set by the state of Maine. Article 16 is the inverse of that, which is set also by the state of Maine for Seaward Town, the rate of interest that we would pay on abated property taxes. Yes.
Could I offer just 2 points which are fairly new? You can see in Article 15, we used to charge, I think it was 8%.
Yep.
It's going down.
Yep.
And today Natalie advised me on Article 16. We've always had those interest rates the same, I think, but it's okay per Natalie in state statute to pay out 4 points less than what you're charging on unpaid taxes. So that's why I took 16 down to 2%.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, the abatements are $30,000 a year in grand total, so.
Sometimes more, but usually that's about it.
Okay. Article 17 is to allow the, I'm not sure why we have to do this every year, but we have to do it every year to allow the tax collector and treasurer to accept prepayments of taxes. Article 18 is to vote to authorize Public Works Director with fiscal approval from the town administrator appropriate public funds on emergency winter maintenance for reason determined by the fire chief and or Public Works Director, and that's only in the state of an emergency or a response. That's something that we've...
That has to be put in every year too.
Right, that's in every year. Article 19 is in every year. It allows to vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen on behalf of the town to accept for and apply for state and federal grants from nonprofit organizations, donations and or revenues on behalf of the town for municipal purposes, including, when necessary, the authority to sign grants, etc., etc., etc. All right. Article 20, to see the town to vote to zero all credit balances as of June 30th, 2021, except for those that are listed below: municipal buildings, health and sanitation, public works, capital improvements, on the next page, miscellaneous accounts, and old home days. So, and the revenues carried forward would be code enforcement, library, recreation, public safety, general assistance, donations, and community garden balance. So that is there. Article 21, appropriate the sum of $4.5 million from revenues and unassigned fund balances to reduce property taxes for FY22, and that is broken down there. Did we not vote on that last year?
Well, Natalie has schooled me saying, Mr. Lamb, you have to vote on this.
Okay.
And so here we have an article, and she's gone over this, and Alyssa Tibbetts, our bond counsel, has gone over this. Specifically the 800,000. That's the last figure. When Shirley and I go to commit taxes in August, the formulas that we use, we've been using up to 800. For instance, we kept the mill rate the same.
Yeah.
And last year we had the authority to use $800,000. I think we used $550 instead and kept the mill rate the same. So in Natalie's mind, her statement today was, Gary, you can't, if you put it in here like this, you can't use less than 800. And I think that's probably not a bad thing, because we found out last Friday that the school budget, our portion, is going up $499,000 from the previous year. Plus the new staff and the new people and new programs we're doing in the budget, I think we probably need that 800. The real estate market is so hot, you know, Shirley feels obligated, her state statute and in her job, to adjust our valuations. So you'll be getting sheets in, you know, I don't know, 3 months or so in terms of the 3 different options in terms of tax commitment. I just find it odd that you folks by charter can't use less than 800. If we have this article in here and the citizens vote on it. That's what kind of rubs me.
What happens when you put up to 800, not 800?
She wouldn't go with that. I pushed hard to have that, Dwayne, and she just said,
Well, in the past, we've always voted on funds, right, that we were gonna be appropriated. In fact, we used to include them in individual articles, right?
understood.
So, several years ago, we changed it so that it was the last article, and then we weren't gonna have to vote on it, and now we're back to voting on it again.
Well, I took it out of the vote because I wanted you folks to have the flexibility to not have to use a full 800 or whatever the case may be if you didn't need it. And I think we'll need it this time around, but I tried really hard to get her to say, give me a not to exceed language or something like that, and she just wouldn't do it. And she said, you could use more than the 800 if you want to, which seemed just the inverse of legal advice. So I think considering the situations before us in the budget and what the school just gave us last week, that we'll need the 800. So
All right.
let's let it ride.
All right.
Where are we gonna end up next year?
Yeah, that's right. So,
Yeah.
so what is your pleasure with anything that sticks out here that you want to change, or do we want to make a motion to accept the warrant as presented? I'd go either way.
Well, we do need to order ballots. Christine needs this signed by you folks. Order ballots.
So what's your pleasure, Ann?
Voting starts May 10th.
Make a motion to accept the warrant as written.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
I'll vote on it.
Huh?
I'll vote on it.
All those in favor? Motion carried.
Thank you.
All right. And how about set a public hearing, which we will conduct in this room, but we will also include any public access via Zoom for questions and answers or whatever, to discuss the budget, or the warrant and the budget, I guess. When did you say voting starts?
10th. We should do it at May 4th. Your next meeting.
Okay, so we can take 45 minutes or whatever the case may be and do it.
Yeah, whatever we need.
So, is everybody okay with that? We'll just add it to the next agenda.
Good.
Okay?
Thank you.
We need to, item B, we need to,
There he is.
Look who's here.
there he is. Welcome, Bud. All right, under 9B, set workshop for personnel policy review. We kind of have left this hanging. We started working through the process. So, what's your pleasure here? Do you want to set a special night to do it, or on a regular selectmen's night?
Is it gonna take more than an hour?
It might not.
Well, I was just thinking 5 to 6, one of these, in the next couple weeks. I mean, we can get it started, that don't mean we're gonna finish it. But,
So you would prefer that we just start?
well, it's up to, but I know Dana's got a couple meetings and he's
I would much
still,
rather see it on the night like tonight.
Okay,
yeah.
so why don't we start it on the 4th? And if we have to, we'll carry it over to the 18th,
I agree with that.
Good. Good.
okay?
At 5?
Yeah, I would think that we could do it at 5.
Yeah. As long as everybody can get here.
Yeah.
You
All right.
get here, Bud?
All right,
I'm here, guy.
9C, discuss possible vote to release deed to remove building restrictions on a formerly town-owned lot, map 46, lot 1290.
This was confusing. I still don't have the answer of why the town would have ever put a restriction on this lot that you could not have structures. Went out there and drove around it, there's no lines of sight problem.
There was, without a doubt, sold toward the butter. Correct?
It's been combined, it's under one deed now. Yeah.
Okay, but it was sold to an abutter for a very minimum cost. And those deeds was issued by the town, Selectmen, never to have a permanent structure on it. Could have a garage, could have an outer building, but it was sold so that the abutter had extra land, but not a full structure.
Guess I don't understand why, because it's a Lake Arrowhead lot.
I realize that, and all of those lots that was sold to the abutter was
Right.
deeded that way.
Exactly right.
So
So they
that
couldn't,
can't
they
ever
couldn't.
be
Right.
two lots with two structures on it.
The gain is that you would take it off from the potential of a full-time residence, right? You would combine the two lots because they were sold for probably under $1,000, most of them,
Yeah, most of
right?
them was 500, just to get them back onto the tax.
Back on the tax rolls, and the restriction is that a permanent residence couldn't be built.
Could put a
But if somebody
garage or
wanted
a
to
barn.
use it for a garage or a barn or a shed or whatever the case may be, they could do that.
Well, what's before you is to release that restriction. These lots are combined, so there's going to be one lot where there used to be two. And somebody does want to build a home that would extend to a certain amount onto this.
But it's
By
gonna be one,
combining those two lots, Alview Terrace and Portland Road, those two lots now have two front yard setbacks that's gotta be met.
Yep.
So their lot is, 50 feet in, 50 feet around the corner, all the way around it, so. And then on the back side, it looks like there's some type of a small strip of land there that is public, private,
the
something,
green belt.
green belt in there. So they're facing the green belt on the other side too, the setbacks.
So, let me get this. There is currently no structure on either one of those lots?
Definitely isn't on the 1291. Yeah, I think 1290 is vacant also, because they want to build.
So they want to combine the two lots and build one residence.
Which can be in the center of those two lots.
Right.
Whatever they want to build is going to definitely extend over the line for where there used to be a boundary line. Yeah, I at least know
The
that.
center boundary line is now gone, but they've created
Yes.
1290 to have double setbacks, front yard setbacks.
It fronted each one anyway, didn't it?
No. 1290 is just on the Portland Road.
Oh, 1291 has both.
1291 has
Now
road
it's,
frontage on both roads.
Yeah.
so I guess the concern is, well, my concern would be, if they're going to build one structure, residential structure, on the two combined lots, that's one thing. If they're going to build two structures, or attempt to build two structures, then
No.
that's why we,
This is one residential dwelling lot. Whether it's just an addition, and I'm sorry, I can't remember if there's a house there now and they're just adding to it. Either way, what they want to do is build across where the boundary line used to be for one dwelling.
could we get a description of what they want to do?
Is there an application? Yeah, I was just gonna ask that.
I don't, I'm pretty sure he hasn't applied for a building permit because he needs to get this behind him first.
But
To know.
we at least need what his intent is, right?
Oh, I can certainly find that out. I'm sorry I don't have that with me.
I think we should invite him in.
Well, what,
Because we can't, you know, go back on what we've done in the past here to
right,
make these,
you-
this is not a double lot. I mean, it is a double lot, but it can't have two structures on it.
right. Two
What you have-
residential structures.
What you have before you undoes that development restriction that was done here years ago. That's what I asked Natalie to prepare.
I think we need to
don't want to do that.
we need to understand what
What his intentions are, what he wants to
the
build.
intention is. They're gonna build one structure? So, I would say we defer it to,
We don't want to go back and
we carry it over to next meeting.
Mike, if you would go ask Angela if she has any input for what CES construction wants to put on that lot 1291. I don't think we have anything, but she might know.
I do know from my experience in Limerick that any contiguous law under joint ownership, under one particular owner can never be split again.
Right.
Right.
and that's
So I know
what,
Lake Arrowhead law, but I can go check.
See if there's anything been submitted in that folder for what they want to build.
Yes.
And, yeah, and look and see if there's an existing home on what would be 1290. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Limerick had some other funky things that they did by combining lots, right?
Yep.
We never did that, but we always sold to abutters. It was a tax-acquired piece of property. We sold that tax-acquired piece of property to an abutter with the understanding that they couldn't go out and build another structure there, residential structure. And that's why the language,
whether it didn't have a structure or it did have a structure, the second lot would be a permanent residence.
So how do you feel, knowing what you know, and it's right on the tip of your tongue, and that's good, how do you feel about if it's combined and it's only one lot, one residence of an ancillary structure going over that line? Do you think you should?
They can go over the center line because
It's no longer there.
they can set the house right in the middle of that lot.
right, the
If they
combined
do
lot.
that ends it right there, because they can't.
They're definitely asking to go over the old boundary line area. I know
The
that.
190, the center
The center one,
190.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they want to build one structure on the two lots. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah,
If that's the case,
we don't need,
I don't have a problem with,
That's the case, Natalie says you still have to do what's before.
I
you.
understand that, but that doesn't mean that we open up the floodgates to people coming in here to say, well, I bought a
I got a
second lot.
second lot, I want to build a house in it.
I would agree. This is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the risk. You know, do we create a precedence that says we're gonna allow two structures? And if that's what he wants to do, then
Can't.
my vote would be no, but that's,
I don't think that's what they want to do.
okay.
There is nothing in the code office for the CES builders. There are no buildings on 1290 or 1291.
Okay. Thank you.
So if they wanna come in and give us some commitment of what they wanna do, then we will act on their request.
So I'll have them show footprint in general,
Yeah,
showing it goes across where the
Yeah.
lot line is
that's
going.
right.
And then you folks can say yes or no to that.
Yep.
The question I get is, and I don't remember, they don't have to meet, other than the back setback, sideline setback to a green belt, correct?
Correct,
Okay.
correct. I do
Because that
have,
looks like there's a green belt
It
behind
looks
it.
like a walking path or something there on
Yeah.
this
It-
flat piece
Well,
of
my guess
property
is
that I
it
got.
was a green belt.
Yeah.
Jim?
It shows
It
several.
protected
of
the
them.
back lot from
It's-
looking into the neighbor's back lot.
It's intended as green space, it's typically 20 feet wide. But I do think that the same covenant still holds true for all of Lake Arrowhead, where two contiguous lots under the same ownership can never be split again. So that would give him the provision that he would only be allowed to put one single-family
Well,
residence on that parcel.
I don't quite agree with that. If you had 3 lots over there, side by side, as long as you got 3 deeds, and you never combined them, and you could meet all the setbacks, you could still build 3 houses, as long as it wasn't bought for the $500, and it's got deed restrictions on it.
Sure.
Okay?
As long as it-
And we sold several of these to the abutters with deed restrictions that they can't build a primary structure on.
Agreed. I'll see if I can find that literature and have that for your next
And it
meeting.
was
so-
just a little bit different than
Clarification,
Limerick.
yeah, so we have it.
It's just a little bit different than what Limerick had.
Sure, yep.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll bring it back at the next meeting.
That's probably 15 years old, at least,
In the 90s.
just to get that stuff back on the tax map. And we sold several of these lots 2 years ago at that public auction that was,
Well, we've been doing this for
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, but I don't think we restricted development on those.
we didn't because they were single lots, but
Right.
9 times out of 10, they weren't buildable.
Right.
You know, we got $1,000,
Water.
$1,500 out of several of those lots that weren't buildable because there's water running right out through the middle of it.
All right, I have no
Okay.
homework, thank you.
All right. Item D, discuss to approve 2 new members of the Economic Development Committee, and I would further expand that to include 1 to the Public Safety Committee. So what is your pleasure?
So moved.
So moved, but I can't find the names.
Jonathan Rideout,
Jonathan
Nadine
Rideout.
Malloy.
Jonathan Rideout
Mhm.
and Nadine to the, Jonathan Rideout to the Economic Development Committee, and Nadine to the Economic Development Committee and the Public Safety Committee.
Oh,
Okay? So that's your motion, Dana?
Yes.
Second?
No, second.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed?
4-0, thank you.
All right.
Yeah, it is. I found it after.
All right, let's jump into old business, update on this transfer station operations. So I would assume that you gentlemen are here for that discussion. Thanks, Mike.
You said 4-0, did Gordon vote?
Thanks for coming.
Oh, yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't count that.
I don't know if you did or not.
Gordon, did you vote on the appointments?
Gotta unmute you.
you gotta unmute.
Unmute. Okay. That's fine. We just wanted to make sure that we included it. Okay. Transfer station.
All right, well, I'll start out with saying, on 4/17, I started conducting usage data using the road review committee's vehicle counters. On 4/17, so last Saturday, we saw 1,538 vehicles came through the gate in 8 hours. And on 4/18, that's a 4-hour day, we had 1,624 vehicles. So it brings the weekend total to 3,162 vehicles in a 12-hour span. I'm gonna hold on to the road review counters and use them for as long as I can, at least until they try to take them away. I think it's good just to get some data, and
They've got 3.
I have 2 of them. So.
You need one in and out so that you make sure that it's the same amount of people that left.
I set them up after all the employees came in, so, you know, we weren't running over them 50 times before we opened. Next thing is the new can that I ordered. We were supposed to receive it last Thursday. I spoke with the company today, and there was some issues with the freight. Right now it's sitting in New Lebanon, New York, waiting available freight. They had some issues with that and it didn't come. We're not the only ones.
We got a truck that can go get it, can't we?
That's was the next thing. I was gonna, you know, if it's not here within the next couple days,
It makes sense.
I was gonna say, even if you put him up at night,
maybe they'll take some of the freight, take the freight cost right off the bill, and we can take a ride and go get it.
I would hope they'd take the freight costs off the bill.
Like all of it, yeah.
The new slab will be prepped on Monday, and once it's prepped, the contractor will be there to pour the pads. Been waiting on the excavator's been out on road work, so just been waiting for them to finish up with that so they can get back and give me a hand with that. Pete and I today, we met with Rob Buildings out of Sanford just to get some rough ideas for a new structure over the single sort recycling compactor. I know that's kind of been on the list for a while. So we met with them today, and they kind of gave us, you know, their take on the situation and what they, you know, think we should do. I don't know if you guys want to get into that tonight or.
No, I think the real issue is that, you know, we need to finally do something, right? So, as long as
you've
we're
got money
working.
in the account right now, no?
Not for that, no, unless
Well,
we
there
move
was-
it from
there's-
somewhere else.
There's money that's in an account
Yeah.
that was for the building.
They didn't give us a set in stone price at the time. They said, you know, depending on the steel prices, which is through the roof right now. We didn't think that there would be a whole lot of steel involved in it, but I think he said 35 to 40,000 for one structure. Oh, I don't know. It just seems like an awful lot of money. Even they had said, you know, for what we're looking to do, they would suggest just repairing the structure we have. With something that small, it's not really it's just kind of a hard job for them with it being such a small structure doing one of them. You know, if we wanted to in the future, we could look at doing multiple at one time, and that would be a better option for us.
How about, he is meter, he's one of the meters over there on 202A, but meters Huss supplies. And it's one of the boys that put up them steel buildings, but he may have, some, no bigger than that is, he may have some leftover stuff. We got a hold of him. I'll think of it about midnight to what he's got for a name, but he's always been pretty decent that way.
But a minimal, we'll have him design it, and we'll have a engineered stamp, and we'll be able to go for it.
He's got an engineer, you
Not
know,
costing us for that, so we can go on from that.
he's got an engineer over there. He builds like the Martin building. but-
Oh yeah, I'm talking about rough. They'll have it all pre-designed, engineered, we'll get all paperwork, and we can
Yeah,
utilize what we can out of it for nothing.
Okay,
All right, moving on to the Quonset hut heating unit. Received 3 out of the 4 quotes. Just working on getting that last one in and making sure that everything's uniform and, you know, so they're all working on the same numbers there.
What's the deadline for that again? For the quotes to be in?
I just told them, you know, I'd like to get them sometime in the mid-April.
The range we've got right now, just tell the board what the range is.
I didn't bring them with me, but I think they ranged anywhere from $2,500 all the way up to, was it
13.5.
yeah, 13.5. One of the quotes included the propane tanks and, you know, everything provided by them, so. And I had asked the low bidder to, you know,
we look at it.
well, yeah, there was some of the numbers didn't quite match up with the other ones, and I wanted to make sure that everything was even, so I had contacted them and just made, you know, could you please relook at your quote?
yeah, well, it's gotta be apples to
Yeah,
apples,
right.
right? So,
We really should be putting a deadline on them too on these bids.
yeah, should be a hard deadline that say, okay, if you're not in by this date, then,
There was a lot of people that I contacted that didn't really want nothing, you know.
Yeah.
they're so busy, it was kind of just pick from who I could get to come and go from there. And that's about it on that. You
The only
guys,
thing with that being said, Josh, is that you're right, it's kind of have to pick with whoever's coming, but
right,
you don't need heat until
right, yeah.
October, right? So even if a guy said to you, I can get there in July to do the job,
He's trying to get it done.
I was just
before
trying to get it
July,
done
so that
before July for this
pull it out of
budget
that
season.
account.
Yeah, you know, at least have something set in stone, so maybe we could carry something forward.
yeah, it's gonna be hard to get it done before July.
Yeah, we're running out of runway right now. Anything else on update?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, I asked, and I think we all kind of discussed this the other night at the workshop, with, you know, are we the recipients of a lot of this stuff, especially from local contractors, because we're the lowest game in town, and it's very obvious that that's the case. So, I asked, Josh, to kind of at least come up with a proposal of what are the things that we need to bump up. And I think to Pete's point, we raise the price to people can, or have to pay other local ways, then we'll see the volume go down.
So I'll start out with giving you guys the current prices. This is what we're going to be going off of coming into the new year. Before I do that, the permits, I've ordered them. The Waterboro permits are going to be red. The cost is going to remain at $10, no change there. The Town of Hollis stickers are going to be blue with a remaining cost of $25. In the Waterboro, the Hollis permits are going to be red, and the price is going to remain at $100.
So to Gary, do we have to invite the Hollis board back into, we had some arrangement with them, right?
I think it might, in light of what we're actually paying compared to what's coming in, we want to sort through our pricing here over the next few weeks and then invite them in to have a chat about a contribution on the warrant article for infrastructure or some other financial compensation for the facility here.
Well, they didn't want to get into that, right, the last time they were here. In fact, that was the least of their worries, was what our administrative costs were.
Well,
So,
be their worry, you know, when they gotta go out to the facility.
well,
They have it really,
you know,
really well for what they do.
if we can't break even with what
Right.
they're bringing in, then
Right.
there's no sense of us doing it.
Yeah.
And I believe this is something I wanted to ask you. When this all went through and they passed this deal with Hollis, the Hollis stickers have always had a different start and end date on them. Theirs always ended October 31st. Is that something we can change so it matches ours? What I was told was it was something in the agreement there, they ran off a different.
The only agreement that we had is that they approved what we were gonna charge for the sticker. And I don't think that there's a hard and fast
So I can change the
agreement
date.
between
Okay.
us. I think you can do what you wanna do.
It should be concurrent, that would make it so
Right, I
much
mean,
easier.
it just makes it, you know, confusing.
I don't understand why we would have done that in the first place. It's got nothing to do with the Springtown meeting, the fiscal year.
No, I mean, it's no, it's like, if you wanna get rid of brush or,
I think that was when we first started with them.
Well, that's what I was told, it was something to do with
I was
that.
gonna say, it started in October or November, so that's when the sticker started.
Makes sense to have it one
Just
day.
change them.
Fix that.
Well, into the prices, single sort recycling is gonna be at $35 a ton. Municipal solid waste is going up to $75.50, as well as oversized bulky waste that stays at $75.50. The demolition cost with the contractor we're using right now is gone up to $97 a ton, so that's a $2 increase. That started April 15th, sorry. Last year was our first year with a per gallon fee for waste oil. It was previously 50 cents a gallon. I was just told that it's going up to $1.50 a gallon, so that's a 55-cent increase.
Oh, 50 or 105?
105, sorry. Same as the antifreeze.
So both of these, the used oil and the antifreeze, we should be charging almost double what it's costing us, because you've got man hours involved in all of that.
And right now we're at no, we
Yeah.
don't charge anything, so.
So,
And I think we had stayed that way, if I remember correctly, just to see what the, the impact was gonna be at the end of the year.
realistically, you should be taking money enough in at that dump to pay for that backhoe, or that skid steer. When you blow a tire on it, the taxpayer shouldn't pay for it. It should be coming out of these fees.
And
And if we can't make money enough, we don't need the stuff down there. We don't need to take it in, be the only town in New York County that's taking all of this. So, we should mark it up so that we're at least breaking even.
all right, moving down to electronic waste. PCP ballasts were up to $1.10 per pound. CFLs 40 cents each. Fluorescent tubes are coming in at 60 cents a foot. U-bulbs 40 cents each, and miscellaneous electronics were being charged 40 cents a pound.
I guess that'll start sending the fluorescent tubes in the household rubbish at that price.
And you can do that.
No, we can't, but that's what people
Yeah.
will do if they're gonna
Yeah.
pay $2.50 per bottle. So be it.
Those, when you say 16 to 22 inch tires, 90% of your cars have got 16 inch tires on them now, so, some of your cars got 20 inch tires on them, so. Size-wise, I don't know, commercial tires, I would say, you should be jumping that up a little bit, because even if you put them into your dumpster, you're paying weight. And the babies, some of them will weigh 120, 130 pounds apiece.
So yeah, 100, passenger tires, the state says to use 110 tires per ton, and it's $160 a ton. And if we were gonna send them out market price, to some smaller vendor or something like that, they're gonna charge us, if it's $8 a piece market price, that's what they're gonna charge us, so. I mean, something like that, you just gotta keep an eye on the market price, and it may change in a week, and next week it may drop.
What do we use to get rid of them?
Well, we've been sending them to Eco Maine. But you can only put so many in there at a time, and they come in so fast. A lot of that tire pile that's left over right there was left over from the last free dump day. Right now, I'm working it out with a company. I have two of them I've been talking back and forth with, trying to get the best price, and we're gonna send out a couple loads in a can, and send one out, see what the price comes back is, and go from there. Send out as many as we can. I have some leftover money in the grinding account. That was my plan. I'll get that done before the end of the year. And
You run them through the compactor, pound them right into a tin, and you take them and dump them. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You ain't gotta, it'd be less man hours, but run that through the compactor and jam them, that container right, chuck a block full of tires, and then
I don't know if that come out though, Dwayne.
I would think they would. Once you get them started, they'll roll. You might wanna grease your,
Yeah, the
Grease
real question is,
the can.
can you compact them
Yeah, well,
more than, and get more tonnage than just stack them in?
stack them in, If you stack them in, man, it takes a lot of man hours.
it would take you a week
Yeah,
to fill a 40 yard. compactor
I
can
don't
full
know
of
about
tires.
that, but I could fill a tractor trailer in a day, but I had 3 or 4 guys doing it with me down there.
The bottom line is we're taking in more than we can send out to
Yes.
ecos.
Yep. All right,
But there again, we need to go up on the price, so, you know, if you're gonna go to 4 free tires, the guy might have 5 or 6 vehicles in his yard, so.
well, what would you suggest that we,
Well, it's gotta be,
That-
you should equal it out to your garbage. Go to Eco Main.
Yeah, which is what's $76 a ton.
$76 a ton?
And then on top of that, you're gonna double it because you got man-hours involved. I mean, it's up to the board here, but whatever it's costing to get rid of it, you still got, you gotta double it to take care of your man-hours.
Well, my suggestion, I guess, at this point is that we know that asphalt shingles, demoed sheetrock, pressure-treated wood, and all of that kind of stuff, you know, we're the lowest game in town, so unfortunately, we're gonna get all of
Everybody
that,
around.
everything. So my suggestion is that in those categories, I mean, we can discuss whether we're gonna get $6 a tire or $11 a tire, or whatever the case may be. We can all be here forever, right? And we all have a different opinion of that, but whether or not we charge for antifreeze, or whether we charge for oil and all of those things. But I think the biggest opportunity we have right now is to raise the things that you charge for,
Yep.
like shingles, and like sheetrock, and like carpets, right? Because those are the 3 or 4
Big-
guys that are
Big hitters.
hauling it all in, right?
Yep.
I would say you gotta match what the going rate is for what it's costing us to get rid of it.
So we're paying, it'd be $97 a ton for mixed, sheetrock is no longer recyclable, it goes right into demolition. So it'd be $97 a ton.
So, I mean, you got the conversion done, right? Of how
We-
much
we
a
did,
ton is,
we
right?
did-
How many cubic yards is equal to a ton?
Yeah, we did shingles, shingles, and it came out to $50 a yard is what
Right.
we needed to clear that can.
Right.
So,
2080.
So again, and one of the examples was the last can, 30-yard can that we hauled into
yeah,
CCRP, right?
15 ton.
It was 15 tons. It wasn't full,
No.
so it was probably 80% full. So
80%.
you got 24 cubic yards that equal 15 ton. So that's the conversion you guys use, right?
Yep.
The
and it was-
1022 truck tire is gonna cost you roughly $5 to ship into Eco Main in that container. And that's not charging anybody, you know.
What did you say? How many tires equal a ton?
160, 110, sorry.
110 tires equal a
And
ton.
$160 a ton if we haul them into a recycling place or something like that.
So it's costing you $76 a ton, and there's 120 tires in a ton, we'll say, right? So
Yep.
it's, you gotta divide that out. It's, you can't get less than $10 a tire, basically.
Your truck tires, you're only gonna get about
Right.
20 tires to a ton, so probably closer to 15.
So I would say, let's take the thing that hurts us the most right now, and let's fix that.
Shingles and demolition.
And let's get that, that's a good start, and then we can, I think we need to have a workshop so that we can air out all of these things of whether or not we should be charging for motor oil or for free, for antifreeze, is that gonna end up on the street? You know, are we gonna charge for fluorescent tubes so they end up in the household waste? Because that's a problem for Eco Maine because of the mercury and stuff in the tubes.
Well, I know another thing, like what Limerick's doing now is if a place sells them, they have to recycle them. So if you could stop taking them and send them, you know, back to where they bought them from. As far as bulbs and fluorescents and, I mean, that's an option we could do too.
Is that the case for all vendors, they have to take it back?
If you sell it, I believe you have to take them, yes.
Right, that's something that the state
Yeah.
legislature continues to work on, that if you sell it, you have to take
Recycle
it back
yeah.
and recycle it.
Interesting. Did not know that.
So let's talk about asphalt shingles and sheet rock. You're asking to double the asphalt shingle one, and you're asking actually to go up from $5 to $35 a yard for mixed demo and sheet rock. Is that what you asking for?
Yeah, well, this list was, the previous list that we had was last updated, it says 2015. In 2015, we were paying less than $45 a ton for our demolition. And there's also a lot of different things on this list that all go under the same category, they all go into the same dumpster, and I think it just kind of simplifies it if you bulk it up. It's just mixed demo. That's what most of the other towns are doing now.
So let's make a move here, and I would accept the motion to increase the asphalt shingles and the mixed demo / sheet rock for Josh's recommended prices here. We can get that behind us so that we approve those fees, and then we can have a workshop and discuss everything else. We'll go through and try to do them all tonight. We're gonna be here till David falls asleep.
shift.
Time to go to work.
So, somebody wanna make that motion?
So moved.
Second.
So,
That's for
moved
the
and
asphalt
seconded for the
shingles.
shingles and the mixed
Sheet
demo. To $50 a yard and $35. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? 5-0. All right, well, let's set up a workshop. Doesn't have to be done tomorrow, but, here in the next month or so, that it gives you an opportunity to kind of look at what's been the response of increasing the two prices. And then I think, because some of this is going to be a philosophical discussion, right? The more we charge for oil, the more opportunity
Gonna end
is
up
for it to be ended up not at the transfer station.
Same with tires, you see them
Same with tires,
Over every road in town.
same with everything. That doesn't mean that we should be the all encompassing collector and all knowing and all willing to take everything and everything else, but
this is the best way to keep the cost on
well,
the people
it's
using
either
it.
that or the public works guys are gonna be traveling the back roads picking up tires and mattresses and, I mean, they do enough of that now, as it is.
Well, it's nice having the rest of Bennett Hill Road blocked off, because usually during the summertime, every day you gotta, take the backhoe up to the end and
Well,
back.
that'll be opened
You
up
always pick
sooner
up
than
something.
later,
That's
right?
another conversation. Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Josh? I would say just keep working the
I'll
numbers.
just keep working on that and get you some more information, and we'll go from there.
Okay? Anything to add, Pete?
Well, definitely come out with another proposal,
Okay.
presentation.
You folks were thinking about sometime in the future getting together on Sunday morning, Saturday or Sunday at the transfer station.
But I think it's a good idea to keep track of Wednesday now and Friday.
Yep.
To
I'm gonna
see
start
what
doing
kind of
every
the
day,
flow is,
yeah.
because I really think that we may want to adjust hours.
Yes.
Right?
Sunday when I got there at 11:45, it was all the way up, almost to the end of the road, so,
The line?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they, for
So
some
1
reason,
o'clock open?
for some reason,
They
people
like to-
don't mind waiting in line on
Oh.
a Sunday afternoon.
There's people that'll come in 2 hours before we open, just to be the first one in line so they can get in and out. I know we had spoke about, limiting the amount of people in at a time, and it would be great to do, because it would take a lot of pressure off us, but you'd never get them all through.
So you'd have a line clear back.
You'd have to be there until 8 o'clock at night. to
The
get
other
everybody
thing
through.
is that you need to
Sorry,
start,
for the hot
that,
dog
and
stand,
I know
yeah.
you did that, Sandy certainly is starting to look for dump stickers and
Well,
stuff like that.
With the extra help that we had, it was good to, you're not running around, with your head on a swivel doing 15 different things at once. I had the time to actually walk around and, manage, keep an eye on stickers, and if people didn't have a sticker, hey, you need to get a sticker, turn around, go back through. And it worked out really well, just having, an extra set of hands there to
Good.
take some of the tasks.
Not only that, we gained a lot of income because the doors are unlocked and taking the cash versus they're so busy, the doors are locked and it's a free-for-all, so.
Oh, why don't you tell them what happened in terms of staffing? 'Cause I haven't told them that we had one person come, some of them.
Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't know, they didn't know that. So, Saturday and Sunday, we had a temp worker from the temp agency down there. Saturday, he assisted Ray over at the household compactor, got the feel for it, and Sunday, he worked the compactors himself, because we no longer have Ray on Sundays, so that was a big help, just having someone there. Usually it's either me or Sean running back and forth from the office to the compactor, or to the backhoe,
And how about your office help? What happened there?
And Angela came down, the assistant to the code enforcement officer. She came down, gave us a hand. We gave her a crash course on the cash register. It went pretty well. A few mishaps, but nothing too bad. And, it was a big help, having, takes a lot of stress off you. And
Well, you can't run the transfer station and do all of the miscellaneous stuff as well, you're right. You have to be you oversee the whole works.
I think Sunday is the only day he's done that since he's probably started. Because I went around, moved all the cans around on Sunday, so
Right,
he didn't
yeah,
have to do
it's,
that.
yeah, it was a good relief to have, some help there. I wasn't in the office, locking the office. Next thing I'm in the backhoe, crushing cans, and then I'm down back with the trash truck and the backhoe, It makes 4 hours go by, feel like 10 hours.
Well, this morning, we talked about whether or not the board should revisit opening time on Sunday. I know that's run into church concerns before, especially the church at the end of the road, but might be time to revisit that. You could open earlier, close earlier. That's a possibility.
That church issue was one big issue when they opened it on Sunday.
That's fine, we can have that debate.
Well, it
Because
was,
it's changed now, because they're not, especially with COVID, but, they're about, I'm assuming that they're about ready to go back to having church services again. I know that there's a lot of churches that are back doing that, so.
And I have ordered 2 people for this weekend, both days.
Yeah, good.
Perfect.
All right.
Did you ask for the same person? It sounds like you worked out okay.
I did, with just one little caveat about smoking, so. But other than that, I guess, Dak was happy with that, with Skylar was the gentleman's name.
Perfect.
Good. All right, moving right along. Let's talk about item 11. Discuss vote to approve the minutes of the April 6th regular meeting.
so moved.
Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Gordon, were you up or down on that?
I don't think he was here.
Okay,
401 then, Flora.
okay. What else we got here? Pending decisions, I think we're all set on. Week's action list, we are gonna, a discussion of it, we're gonna bring back 9C as old business. See if we can get some understanding of what their intent is. Items needing signature, the municipal warrant. We're not gonna sign 15B tonight. And with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Good night, Irene.
Good man. Dwayne, did you get your recipe?
Well, if we're gonna keep talking about this recipe, I think we need to bring it in and try it. How's that?